Hey guys and dolls, today I'm going to be doing a review and demo and showing you guys how a foundation wears throughout the day, and that is the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Cream stuff. So if you guys don't know what a CC cream is, basically it has color correcting benefits in it, which is where the CC comes from, light deflecting particles, and you can see when I first applied this foundation it is very glowy, and I really like that element of it, especially since my skin's been kind of on the drier area lately. It's kind of nice to have that little bit of glow come from a foundation type product. This also has a lot of sunscreen. It has SPF 50 and the sunscreen in it is from titanium dioxide, which means that it's a physical barrier rather than a chemical one. I personally prefer a physical blocker to a chemical one, but it's just a matter of personal preference. But I do like that it does have that. And it does have an orange scent, which is kind of not necessary but nice. I don't know, it feels fresh when you're putting it on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply this. I'm going to do my normal stuff, but I'm not going to do anything kind of out of the ordinary. I'm not going to apply any of my normal highlighting powders because those give me a glow and I don't want that to interrupt the natural flow of this. But I'm going to use my regular powder, which is the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural. This is a really great texture, and these two I've found work well together. So I'm going to go ahead and use that, and just you know, matte blush and things like that, just to give you an idea. You can already see I have a little bit of glow through the powder, which is really nice. Hopefully it doesn't get too oily throughout the day, so we'll see. I wanted to show you guys the entire process of me applying this, so I'm showing you my skincare. This is what I use all the time. This is what is underneath the CC cream in case that has any effect on the wear time. I don't think that it should, but I'm just showing you guys, you know, everything I used. To apply this, I used a flat top kabuki. Yes, I realize mine is technically angled, but it's the same basic concept. This gives me a really great coverage, and this type of brush does a really good job of blending everything out and making things look nice and, you know, even and not streaky, basically. This is a great brush to use with any foundation, and it works particularly well with this CC cream. Because the CC cream sort of sucks into the skin, I did have to use a second pump of the CC cream, which I think is important to note, that it's not just a one pump and done kind of product. I also want to mention that I didn't use concealer. You can see here I'm just patting a little bit of the CC cream under my eyes, and it does actually a pretty good job of covering any of my under eye bags. To make this a realistic test, I also used my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural. This powder works with pretty much every foundation ever. In fact, I find that it usually makes things look better, so I figured it was the perfect one to test with it because it wouldn't harm the overall effect in any way. And then I just did a couple, again, some basic stuff, just used a little bit of contour, a little bit of blush, just so I looked like what I would normally look like, so I wasn't judging the way that I looked based off some other arbitrary factor. So now my makeup is freshly applied. It looks wonderful, particularly on camera. It looks really great. In person, maybe it looks a tiny bit dry. So it's been 4 hours, and as you can see, my skin is very shiny, very glowy. The glowiness doesn't really bother me. I'm just looking a little rough around the edges. And so because I need to film something else, and because this is what I would do, you know, if you start looking a hot mess, you would want to touch up, right? So that makes it a more realistic test to me, rather than just like let it go. Let it go. Let your face shine like the sun. What I'm going to do to remedy my glowiness is I'm going to use some of these CVS oil blotting sheets. They're like the Clean and Clear ones, or like MAC makes ones that are just like this, but they're way more expensive. The CVS ones are so much cheaper and they work just as good. I'm just going to take a little bit of powder just to sort of refresh everything and make myself look camera ready, because I'm going to film the other video that I don't want to have to explain in it why I don't look my best. The CC cream is more of like a casual product, so I could see how this would be great for like those days where you're like, I don't really have time to do a whole bunch of, you know, different steps. As you guys can see, I didn't even really need to use concealer with it. So just adding a little blush just to, you know, bring me back to life. Now, if this were, you know, not, you know, day I was testing something, I might add like a little concealer under the eye. I might add like some glowy powder or something like that, but even that I think really just pepped me right back up. Alright guys, so here we are at the end of the day. I've had this on now for about 9.5, 10 hours, so I just want to kind of talk to you all about my thoughts, feelings, comments, and concerns. So in regards to the Your Skin But Better CC, I have very mixed feelings with it, which I know probably isn't very helpful. you know, it looks glowy, it looks healthy, it looks really great on camera, maybe a little too shiny, but you know, generally those things can just be helped with a little bit of powder or something like that. But in person it has this sort of glowy but dry look to it. And it's something you can't necessarily see from, you know, even I'm about a foot away from my mirror right now, and I can kind of see some of the dryness in here and here. It's sort of like separating with my skin, and realistically, if you're working an 8-hour workday, you're going to wear this makeup probably for over 10 hours. So it's disappointing that by the end of the day it starts to kind of fall apart on you. And the other problem that I have with this is it does settle into my pores. And I mean, where I'm at with the pore situations, I don't have the world's largest pores, but I don't have tiny pores either, so I would say I have sort of normal pores. So for them to be quite pronounced with this is disappointing, because, you know, who wants their pores to be pronounced? And I have tried using this with primers. You guys will notice that when I applied this today, I didn't use it with a primer. And that's because all the primers that I've used with it either didn't help at all or made the situation worse. And that would also kind of defeat the purpose. It's a CC cream. It's kind of supposed to be you know, a product that makes your life simpler. I do still have to wear moisturizer with it, and I have moderate dry combination oily skin. I get oily in my T-zone and all that nice neat stuff. So I don't know how I feel about this product. It's like halfway through the day, you know, when I first apply it, I think it looks great, and then halfway through the day I'm still like, yeah, this is awesome. And then here we are at basically the end of the day, and I'm like, Granted, most foundations don't look perfect at the end of a 10-hour day. So I think that this is still a good one to wear, particularly for short jaunts, if you're going out to dinner, if you are just going to be running a couple errands for, you know, some hours. If it's not something, if it's something you can also babysit, because keep in mind, I only touched this up one time. So I have a feeling like if I had, you know, been able to blot it more than once, because I was doing sort of, you know, scientific experiment and everything, if I had blotted it more, or maybe put more powder on or whatever. I do look really tired under my eyes, but keep in mind I didn't wear any concealer, so check it out. I mean, you might really like it, you might dislike it. If you don't like it, don't feel bad that you don't like it. It's just one of those products that I think is really on a case-by-case, you know, situation. Gosh, I'm really tired, you can tell. So final thoughts on this: it has really good coverage in terms of sunscreen. As long as you're going to apply enough, you know, it'll be a good one for you to use. It has the physical sunscreen instead of the chemical. It does have a little bit of a glowy thing going on, but again, it's kind of like this weird, like, glowy dry thing, and if you have larger pores, you might not like that. I'm on the fence. I'm getting a text message and I'm on the fence. You know, I've had this now for a month and a half, and I've used it about 6 or 7 times, and I just don't know how I feel about it either. One thing I will say about this is I tried applying it in different ways. I tried applying it with just my fingers, and that was okay. I tried applying it with a beauty blender, and that was a disaster. When I use this flat brush, I do find I get the best result, and they do sell this, or they sell a brush that has a flat top. Now this is like an angled flat top, but it's the same kind of thing. So that would be the best method of application with this, and overall I like it. You know, I liked it less earlier today, and now that I've like kind of somewhat scientifically tested it, I actually have a better opinion of it than I did initially. So that's all I have for this video. I am super exhausted, so I'm going to go to sleep now. Well, I'm going to wash off my makeup. Never go to sleep with your makeup still on. I'll see you guys in my next video. Remember to just be yourself. See you, bye.